Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Julie. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5. My kids this year are going into 7th grade, 5th grade, 4th grade, 2nd grade, and junior kindergarten. So I have 5 kids that are all in school. And 2 weeks ago, I posted a video sharing our preschool, junior kindergarten curriculum. Last week, I shared our grade 2 curriculum. And so today, I'll show 7th grade, 5th grade, and 4th grade curriculum. It's gonna be a lot packed into this video. I will try to make sense of it all and not overwhelm you, but so much of their curriculum just kind of overlaps. And so I felt like it just makes sense to post one video where I show all of it. I'm going to kind of go through and show little bits and pieces of it and then cut back to me just sitting and talking to you face to face and then show more curriculum so I can kind of explain this all to you. And then I'll edit it and see if that method of filming was a flop or not. But I'll try to make this video not too long. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to show you what we're using for our Gather Round unit studies. If you are not new here, then you know we really enjoy the Gather Round curriculum. It is a really good fit for us. We love the unit study approach. And as I'm going to show you the books here, it looks like a lot of books because every unit we're using, there is a workbook for each one of the kids as well as a teacher's guide for myself. And but I find that works really well for us. I think it's just we do one unit for 6 weeks or so and then we get fresh new books and it just kind of keeps the year interesting. It's not just like this huge massive textbook that we're using all year long. We have had good results using this curriculum, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're doing for Gather Round this year. I'll also give you a quick peek of everything I have set out here. But here's what we're doing for Gather Round. So if you have a really good memory, you might remember last year when I showed our curriculum haul, I showed these books. And this was our unit that was supposed to be the very end of our last school year. We just never got to it. And so we are starting this year with this curriculum. So Simeon is my 4th grader. Elijah is my 7th grader, and then Charities is down here as well. She is my 5th grader. So 7th and 5th, we're using upper elementary for both of them. I kind of went back and forth on whether I should do maybe middle school curriculum for Elijah, but we're going to keep him in upper elementary. I'll probably expect a little bit more of him this year, like more research, an extra couple sentences written or something, you know, but we're keeping him in upper elementary and Simeon's in early elementary. They are keeping these levels all year long. I will give you just a quick flip through what this curriculum looks like. So it is a unit study. It includes all of your subjects other than math. One thing I really like about this curriculum, about this year. So the first year curriculum was different, but in these more recent units, at the beginning of each book, they have some seat work for each day. So week 1, seat work. You have copy work and spelling that you're going to be doing every single day. And so we'll do that for week 1. And then week 2, we have new seat work. And so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to fit into our daily schedule, but we're going to do that every day. Each of the kids' books has that. And so that's just a quick flip through of the kids' books. That's upper elementary. Early elementary is very similar. It's just for a lower level, so it requires a little bit less. It's a little bit simpler. And then each unit also has my teacher's guide. And so each day I sit and I read to the kids. Each lesson is usually about 4 pages long. I'm really excited about this unit. I think this is going to be a really good one. So I read 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the kids do all their workbooks. Sometimes I might pause in the middle and they'll do a couple pages and then I'll finish reading and they'll do the rest of the pages. And so that's one lesson that I read. And then each of their books has about 4 work pages. So here is lesson 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has 5. And then we're on to lesson 2. And so that's like what a day would look like. So each unit takes us about 6 weeks to complete. So there's our first unit, farming and food. Our next unit is Australia. Then we're gonna do dinosaurs. I'm really excited about this one. This is a Christian curriculum, so it'll be like a creation-based dinosaurs study, which is so different than 99% of what you see on dinosaurs. And then we'll do this Antarctica unit, and then we will also do this living off the land unit. So I showed you the 5 full-length units we are doing this school year. We also have one more we're gonna do, and that is a new unit called, is it called Sports and Nutrition, Sports and Health, something like that. I bought all of these units when they were on sale at the beginning of July or the end of June, something like that. I bought all of these 5 units and then started printing them up and compiling them and everything. But when I bought them, that sports unit had not been released yet. And so I'll probably just wait. That's gonna be the very end of the year that we'll do that unit. So I'll probably just wait till the spring and print it up and compile it then. It's a ton of work getting all this curriculum put together, but I do like getting it done before school starts. And then when school starts, we're basically set for the full year. So those 6 full-length units are what we're doing this year. We did Christmas and Easter, the Christmas unit and the Easter unit, the last 2 years. So this year I decided we won't do that. We'll just do the 6 full-length units. So the next thing I have to show you are our handwriting books. This is our first time, well, my daughter going into 2nd grade, she did their handwriting at the very end of last school year. But this is the first time for our older kids to use the Good and the Beautiful handwriting books. For Elijah, I got level 6. He's in grade 7, but the books end at grade 7, I believe, or something. For whatever reason, when I was ordering them, I just thought I'm gonna give him the lower level. That will work just fine because then he can keep going for longer since we're just doing this for the very first time. And so it's just a lot of cursive he'll be doing. There are Bible verses in here and just some fun little writing projects. And so this is an extra handwriting book for him. I'll explain this to you a little bit more in just a minute, but this is the level 6. This one is level 5. And so this is what Charity's going to be using. It's very similar. It has a lot of cursive. The writing's just a little bit, the font's a little bit bigger, but it's lots of cursive work for her. And then Simeon is going to be using level 4. And this looks like this. So I think this will be really good. I think these workbooks will be really good for them for their handwriting. So I did get each of my kids that writing book. I have yet to figure out our homeschool schedule. I'm gonna be figuring that out in the next couple of weeks here, and I will share that once I have it figured out. And so I'm not quite sure what it will look like, how we're gonna use this, if we're gonna just do it once a week. It's definitely not a daily necessity. We do have our gather round books that include enough writing. I wouldn't say I think we need more writing. I think this is good for them just to practice just writing cursive, not thinking, okay, what should I write to, you know, what notes should I be writing for this lesson we learned? It's just plain copy work, but working on their cursive. And so that is a good addition. But the other big reason that I want to buy this, that I want to have an extra handwriting curriculum, is because there are days where maybe somebody is sick or maybe I'm sick, and so we don't get to the gather round lesson, but I still kind of want some schoolwork for the kids who are healthy or for the kids who aren't away for a couple of days or whatever the situation may be. I just know days like that come up. And so if we don't have our gather round unit study, because we're all working together on the unit studies, it's not just, okay, everybody gets the school day off. Those kids can still work on their math curriculum and they can still do some writing, even though we're not doing our unit study, if that makes sense. So that's our gather round handwriting curriculum. This rolls right into the other thing I bought for the very first time, and that is the gather round language arts curriculum. I actually didn't buy it. It's actually a free PDF. When you go onto their website, you can just download it. These books are a lot. So I downloaded it and then I looked through each of the books. First, I figured out what level my kids are at. And so what I've found from experience as a homeschooling mom and as a homeschooling student, I was homeschooled, is that the later you add grammar, the better. I find if you push grammar too early, and I mean, I'm not just grammar in general. Like if you want to teach, you know, nouns and verbs and stuff, that's whenever you do that is fine. But if you're pushing diagramming sentences when your child is in 2nd grade or even 4th grade, it is just a lot, and they will grow leaps and bounds in their grammar, in their vocabulary, just by reading. And so my kids do read a ton, and so when they are reading, they are learning all of those, the grammar, the vocabulary, the spelling. They are learning that without even realizing it. I'm not forcing it on them, like, here, diagram this sentence and we need to do tons of spelling lists. They learn that just by reading. And so my kids are avid readers, and so I haven't really pushed grammar on them. So again, this language arts curriculum is kind of going to be a filler for those days when we're not necessarily doing our full school day, but I want to give them a bit of schoolwork to do. These books will be for those instances. Now, I'm curious to see how this school year goes using this language arts curriculum. Again, I have to figure out our homeschool schedule and see how I'm going to fit it in, if it'll just be those random days, or if I should be doing this on a weekly basis, or what. I will just say it's a lot. I looked through the files and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so much information. And I kind of picked and chose what pages I printed. I didn't print the whole book. These language arts books are like 300 pages long, and I just kind of went through and picked, you know what, I'm going to skip these couple pages, I'll print these ones. I'm going to skip these few pages, I'll print these ones. But I'm not quite sure. So for one, that was super, super time consuming. And I'm not quite sure how that will work. Doing it as like a casual, not every single day curriculum. I know I am really, really just kind of talking on, and I hope this is making sense. And so it is a heavy curriculum, I guess I will say, as I was looking through it. And so I don't know how picking and choosing your pages and doing it occasionally, how that will work. So I'm curious to see how that will work this year. I printed this all up and I'm thinking, would it have been better just to do something very basic for grammar and something that we can do every few days and that be okay? So here it is. I took quite a bit of time just figuring out, okay, what level are my kids at? And so I just went and thought level 4 will work really well for my older 2 kids, and then level 3 for my next. So I just went through and I didn't even do every single lesson. Some of the lessons focused more on art, and we do have quite a bit of art mixed in here, and so we didn't need to focus on that. It just goes at the beginning just talking about like synonyms and antonyms and nouns, adjectives, verbs, which is always just good to review. We haven't really focused a lot of our homeschool onto specifically grammar. And so actually, that's right. That's what I did for these 2 kids' books. So I picked and chose pages. Again, these books are like 300-page books. And so I just printed a bunch, only got about halfway through the book. And so then if they finish what they have here, then I can print up some pages from the rest of the book. But I just printed up a portion since it's not going to be something we're going to do every single day. And so I went through and did a bunch of grammar. And then I printed up, let's see if I can find it easily. I printed it up in cardstock, hoping that it would be easy to find. Here it is. So then after I printed up a bunch of this language arts book, I also printed up, so this is cardstock just to show this is where the spelling book starts. And so there's a bunch of spelling pages in here as well. And Elijah and Charity's books. Let's just see if I can show you just a few more pages here. Their books are exactly the same. So they both have just this level 4 workbook here. And then, oh, it's over here. And then for Simeon, I did this level. He doesn't have a spelling book. He just has the grammar portion. And so just kind of getting into basic grammar for him. I will also show you right now, I did print up this book too. This came with The Good and the Beautiful. It's a poetry book, and I thought this is something I wanted to implement a little bit more in our school days. And so we're just gonna go through some of the poems. I'm sure we'll just read, and sometimes we will memorize some poems, but it's just this little poetry book. It came with the language arts curriculum, and so I'm not sure how exactly we're going to implement this into our school days, but at least on a weekly basis, I want to go through and do some poetry. I will also quickly show you, I printed up again our own Bible curriculum. So the Gather Round curriculum does have some Bible kind of sprinkled throughout the curriculum, but I wanted more Bible time. Bible study time is important for us, and so I want to prioritize that. And so I will post a video, I will share a video next Monday where I go in depth showing you our Bible curriculum, but for now I'm just going to show you we do have some Bible curriculum we'll be doing each day as well. I'm sorry, I'm talking fast. I'm like, this video is getting so long. The last thing I want to show you is our readers. And so I bought, some of these books were from bookoutlet.com. Some were just from our local thrift store, but I bought a whole bunch of new books. I'm going to need a new bookshelf soon to have room for all these books. But these are just books for independent reading time. And so every day my kids have about 30 minutes where they have some assigned reading. Now, when I say assigned reading, I'm not usually saying, I want you to read this book right now, but I do have a stack of books that they can pick through that are not just like fluff books, like silly graphic novels or whatever. They are books that I approve of and that I think are helping them gain knowledge as they read. So I'll show you what books I bought for this year. You guys know we love these who was. I feel like I'm saying really bad grammar, using really bad grammar, but these who was books are really good. They're just a pretty easy read, but you're learning history of some person or product or place or event. And so I got a whole bunch of these Who Was books. I think these were all from Book Outlet, and they were probably each $3 to $4. So there's that stack. I forgot to show this earlier. It's these Julia Rothman books. These ones will go with, like the food anatomy book will go really well with our farming and food unit, or even living off the land unit. And so I've heard a lot of good things about these books. I've hidden them from my kids because I know that they will really enjoy them. But these aren't really like reading books that my kids will sit and read through, but I think really informative, really good books. And then over here, this one looked good. I've never heard of it, but I saw it on Book Outlet. I just got a couple of other fun books that aren't necessarily like educational at all, but the Vanderbeekers, my kids really enjoy those ones. They don't know that I have those yet. I hid them, so they'll be fighting over reading that one first, I bet, when I put these on the shelf. And then these books, again, are really good. They are all I Survived books, so they're stories about these major events. I survived the destruction of Pompeii, all these different events and somebody's story living through these times. The last one I have here, I got 2 of the Titanic without thinking. This one is just a novel, and then this one is a graphic novel, so I didn't mean to get both of those. That was an accident, but I have all those books. Our library is also a great friend for finding more books, so I'm sure we will make it through all of these, and then we'll go to the library and get more. I might also make another Book Outlet order at some point through the school year, but this is what I have to start off the year. I have not mentioned our math curriculum yet, and that's because Elijah and Charity and Simeon are all doing teaching textbooks once again for math. This is on the computer. I have done a few videos in the past where I have explained and shown teaching textbooks more, and I will be doing a video actually this fall talking more about it as well. But it's a great math program where the kids can be independent because they're doing their problems online, and it keeps track of their scores. I can go into my teacher's portal and see how they're doing, but we really have enjoyed teaching textbooks for math. So other than what I have showed you, sorry I'm getting out of breath, I'm like up and down and talking and showing all the curriculum. We are also doing typing. Elijah, Charity, and Simeon, this will be his first year doing typing. We just do typing.com, easy, free program. We are doing piano lessons. I also have read aloud time with the kids, and I showed a video last month showing what books I plan to read aloud with the kids. I think that is it. I feel like this is just so much all in one video, and it's a little bit overwhelming probably just seeing everything, and I've printed it all out. It's probably not the easiest curriculum haul to watch, but I hope I hope that was interesting, and if you have any questions for me specifically about Gather Round, I can definitely answer some of those questions. I will also, for sure, the halfway point of this school year, I will give an update. I usually like to wait about till the halfway point, just give you an update on how our school year is going. Maybe I'll surprise you and do an earlier update, but on just how this curriculum is working for us. I will also show a video soon on our homeschool schedule, because I'm still a little bit unsure of how I'm fitting everything in. I have to really sit down and focus and figure out, okay, how are our days gonna look, especially with my 5th child now, school age. And so subscribe if you want to see more of our life, more of how we make this curriculum work and what our days look like and such. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you made it to the end, congratulations. I applaud you, because this, I'm sure, is a long video. And again, ask any more questions you have down below. I can get more into it. I'm still talking because I am still feeling like I missed something. There is something else I wanted to say and I cannot figure out what it was, so maybe there's nothing. If there is, maybe I'll edit it in a little bit later. But for now, thanks for watching. I remembered as soon as I turned the camera off, I was like, oh yeah, of course, I wanted to say this. So my oldest is going into 7th grade, and so I definitely want him to be doing a bit more writing, like starting to write simple essays. And so we're gonna start off by every single book he finishes, he's gonna be writing a book report. And I know that's a little bit painful for him. He does not like writing. My boys and girls are like stark differences right now in how they are, and the boys do not like to sit and write. The girls are happy to sit and write and just work really hard on making their letters look so pretty and neat, and they're not in a rush. And the boys are like, as few sentences as possible. And so I'm gonna push him to not just write a book report, but write like, okay, you need to write at least 6 sentences, and just focus on how the paragraph should be formed. And he's getting older, he's getting up there, and so school is getting a little bit more in depth for him. But that's all. I think that's it that I wanted to say.